Hi pals, it's RT, then and pronouns only, and this week's video is my very delayed ADHD medication update. Can you tell I've got ADHD? I also do genuinely mean this. Please stop misgendering me in the comments. Please stop misgendering me when you comment on my videos, especially if you are being positive and like my videos and want to continue watching my videos and interacting with me and my space. It's just basic respect to not use gendered terms with me. It's been happening a little bit more than I like recently. If it's something that keeps happening, I will just stop responding to people who comment misgendering terms. So they them pronouns, do not refer to me as a man or a woman. Just don't use gendered terminology with me at all. Thank you very much. This was a PSA. Face is a bit pink. It's hot. It's that time of day where generally my body just rejects everything that I've done all day, and it's just like, fuck off. Generally, I didn't have a whole lot to really update for a while because I had a lot of things I was trying to figure out, as well as like before that it just seemed like there was nothing really to discuss. I didn't really have any further updates with how I felt. I've got a few now. I've been having a bit of a weird time with some of my mental health related issues. I get agoraphobia every once in a while, like it will sort of flare up. And I definitely had a flare up of that earlier in the summer. And I say, yeah, flare up, and it comes back and that sort of thing because it's not a diagnosis I have. It's not something that has definitely always prevented me from ever leaving the house, but it's definitely something that has impacted the anxiety levels I experience. And I am at a point in my life where I feel like I don't really have a lot of anxiety anymore. A lot of the anxiety went away once I realised ADHD and autism. So experiencing anxiety symptoms was, yeah, kind of a warning and a concerning thing. It was very difficult. I'm still not even really sure what was aggravating that. I'm not sure if that was my ADHD medication or my medical cannabis or health things or what, but I definitely felt a reoccurrence in agoraphobia and anxiety about leaving the house. So that was sort of like a big part of my roughly like when the year of being on ADHD meds sort of was, or when I finished the titration period last year. For this year, did that make sense? I don't know. So I didn't really want to discuss anything yet, and then I was called for my annual ADHD medication review, which is under Psychiatry UK. I did not know that was the case. I thought it was part of my GP practice's responsibilities. That was not explained very well to me when I was more actively under their service. So finding that out then led me down a bit of a rabbit hole with the care I'd received before. First of all, it was with the same consultant as I made this video about, who was low-grade transphobic in the assessment and in the report he then sent to my GP outing me. But also his appointment times were now either before 9 AM or after 7 or something, after 6, I don't know. Basically times that I'm not willing to do. I feel like a lot of my health conditions are a full-time job, so I try to keep that stuff within a 9 to 5 kind of time, to try and keep myself sane. And that's the same with some of my creative work. I try to keep that within like a schedule, habit, it's an R word and I can't remember what it was. But ignore me filming this video on Sunday. I'm going to be a little bit busy tomorrow. Can't be bothered to try and fit this in tomorrow. So here we are, trying to make it quick. Yeah, like obviously sometimes I can't do everything in that time, so because of my health. All of those issues as well, I basically said to the lady who was trying to book me in, I was like, I don't want to see this man. Can I see someone else? I explained it to her a little bit and she was like, oh, I'm really sorry that happened to you. No wonder why you're a bit confused about us calling and not really that willing to sort this out. I was like, yeah. Thanks, Psychiatry UK. You're really great at communicating with me. Thank you so much. So they basically went through the process of changing my consultant, which took a little while longer. As well as me talking to, I think, the patient patient experience person. So I spoke to her in detail about the things I mentioned in that video about the assessor being transphobic and outing me, and the fact that, you know, I didn't know to ask to see the form before it went. I didn't know, like I didn't realise that all of the things that we were discussing were definitely going to be in this report that was going to my GP and will be on file for everyone to see. And it's now on the website, a bit more information about that, because I'm looking into the autism assessment under them. Yeah, so I went through all of that with her. It was very difficult trying to get her to understand what I was saying. She was trying though, and I do appreciate it. But yeah, I had to kind of repeatedly re-explain things a lot of the time, and she would kind of then talk about something that's not really relevant or related to what I was saying. I was like, no, this is what I mean. Yeah, so I basically gave feedback that I think that at the start of every session, every assessment, the consultants need to say everything that I'm asking, all of your answers will be put in the report. They'll be sent to your GP, etc. So if there's anything that you would rather me not include, you can let me know in the appointment or let Psychiatry UK know afterwards in the portal, because that was not expressed to me, I don't think. It was a while ago now, but I really don't think I remember that. I think I would have remembered someone saying all of this will be included in the report. So yeah. And also I complained about the issue of when I submitted my forms. I think I submitted them a month earlier than I necessarily needed to. And I got an email or something through the portal saying that I hadn't bothered uploading them, which then sent me through a complete fucking spiral mentally right before my appointment. So I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up when your patients, clients, whatever they want to call them, have ADHD and do struggle with remembering things. So being told you haven't done something when you have done something, I have been gaslit a lot, my love. I don't take it lightly anymore. So yeah, that was pretty much what was happening leading up to the year medication assessment. When I had the assessment, I was also looking into other options for medications leading up to that time, because wasn't, part of it is that I wasn't sure if a lot of these other symptoms were linked to the medication I was on or not, but also I do and always have really found that this medication lasts a bit too long for me, which does fuck up my sleep schedule. So I had my appointment with the new consultant, who was fine, but he wasn't amazing, wasn't super helpful. He kind of didn't want to change my medication, but the only thing I managed to get out of him was trialling a shorter acting version of the Concerta type brand, methylphenidate, I think. Because I'm on the extended release methylphenidate, 18 to 36 micrograms, because I don't feel like I need to take the full dose every single day. I find it lasts too long, and if I don't take it latest 9 AM, then I struggle with sleep. and winding down in the evenings. So we're trying a medium release one. However, the titration list is 7 months wait, so sick. It's a lot longer than when I was assessed and first went through it, because what was that, October through till February, so that was about 4 months. Yeah, so that's great. I found a lot of the symptoms I've been dealing with have gotten a bit better if I at least take this medication every day, which is why I tend to stick to the 18 micrograms like most days, because I don't necessarily need the full dose every day. But yeah, I have found taking it regularly has helped with a lot of symptoms that I was having when I would take it on days I definitely needed it. So yeah, I would take it on days I'd be going out and doing things or doing work, or, you know, getting on with projects, and it would lead to a lot of like tachycardia, like very anxiety, sensory kinds of vibes, shaking, really awful stomach upset. I would be going to the toilet multiple times, nausea. Yeah, I think a few other things as well. And at this time when that was happening, I'd also started allopurinol, which definitely was making me nauseous if I wasn't taking it after I ate food. So yeah, it's a lot of medications, trying to juggle all of them to see what's doing what when to me. But I found that those have kind of chilled out a lot more, just taking the 18 micrograms every day. However, I don't think it's necessarily working fully, and I probably should or need to take the full dose more often. But it does just make me a little bit anxious and concerned, because I get heart palpitations, or I'm a bit tachycardic anyway. My heart rate's quite high naturally, although it has come down since doing yoga and kind of getting more of a handle on pain and stuff. Because yeah, I was almost constantly in the hundreds, but now I'm more at like an 80, 85, which is still high for my age and stuff, but it's a lot better than it was. Yeah, I find that the extended release lasts a solid 12 hours for me. Everybody is different. A lot of people tend to have very different experiences of how long these medications affect them. I've got friends on the same meds where it doesn't last anywhere near 12 hours. It's more like 6 or 8. And then I've got other friends who are on shorter dose ones, which last longer than like most people find that it lasts. But yeah, I didn't want to start the really short release, which I think is 4 hours, because I don't think I'd remember to take it multiple times a day. So that's why we settled on like the medium release one, which is one that just literally didn't even come up in my research. Nobody I know is on it. So I don't know how common it is. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it on the screen so that you know that information. I literally couldn't find this anywhere. I didn't know it existed. And if you're not new here, you know me and you know how thorough I am in my research. I was even like open to trying I don't know, I said to him, I was like, I'm open to trying a non-stimulant, but I don't want to come off stimulants when I know they do work for me. So I think, yeah, I want to try a different stimulant first, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. The guy did say, because I was talking about trialing Vyvanse, because quite a few of my friends were on that, and they say that it sort of is, yeah, like a medium release medication, more like, yeah, 6 to 8 hours rather than my like 12. The consultant I had said that most people find that that one lasts longer than the one that I'm on, and I was like, okay, I've literally not spoken to a single person or found anything that said that, but sure. So that's why I've gone, okay, fine, I'll do this other one. Because yeah, I was trying to explain to him about the raised heart rate and raised blood pressure. My blood pressure went really fucking weird one day when I took this medication. It was really high, still really high, but not as high, and then it was normal by the afternoon. Very weird. I've never noticed or had that experience before, so that was another reason why I was wondering if it was the ADHD meds. So yeah, I was trying to explain this to him, how I wanted to try a medication where it doesn't specify raised heart rate, raised blood pressure in their sort of most common symptoms, which the methylphenidate does, but the Vyvanse doesn't, although it is still like reasonably common with most people. He also said that it sounded like by these symptoms that I was overstimulated rather than actually being concerned about my heart rate and blood pressure being quite high. So yeah, that's why I'm a little bit not really sure how I feel about this particular consultant either. That's where we're going. I would also like to hope that whenever I finally see cardiology, which apparently could possibly be early December, they might be open to putting me on, okay, I'm really going to struggle saying this one, how do you say that one? Propranolol? Mental illness. Propranolol. Fucking hell. Basically, it's a medication if you've got a high heart rate, so I'm hoping that they would be trialing that with me soon, because I have a lot of issues related to that shit, because yeah. POTS. Yeah, before I started taking my medication regularly again, because I was taking it regularly, but then with chronic illness, my health kind of goes up and down, especially when it comes to like my heart rate and blood pressure. They can be a bit erratic, so I didn't really want to take something that would make that worse or like impact those things even more. So before I started taking it regularly again was because I just wasn't feeling great a lot of the time. I was in a lot of pain, and I was still trying to work out a lot of stuff with the medical cannabis, which has mostly been like fixed and sorted now. One thing down. And I've been having a lot of problems with sleeping for quite a while, and I tend to, when I'm not feeling well, I will sleep longer. I don't sleep more unless I'm quite unwell. Like I really don't take naps unless I'm really unwell. And then if I'm sort of feeling more under the weather, my night's sleep will be longer. So I'll go to sleep about the same time, sometimes earlier, but usually I'll sleep longer in the morning, which is when I would have issues with these medications. I can kind of just roll over and take majority of my other morning meds just with water and go back to sleep and it's fine, but ADHD meds can often like wake me up. So if I did that, I would then miss out on the sleep that I feel like my body was needing at the time. And as well, at the time, it didn't seem too much of an issue that I'd already been taking it regularly for quite a long time, that I'd been able to develop some habits and routines that still stuck around if I stopped taking the ADHD meds for a few days. But it got to a point where I was just like really struggling to get back on taking it because of those other symptoms that were making me quite anxious and shaky. But also I was finding the longer I was then off them, the more the ADHD was like worsening and the brain fog worsened. So yeah, like it would be like a slow progress into like my ADHD and like cognitive symptoms worsening. I'd sort of start feeling like I wanted to snack more. I don't feel like it's had a huge impact on my eating habits really. But I do find that I'm not necessarily like craving stimulation all the time by food. Like I still love to eat babes and I'll still eat whatever I like, but I'm really fucking struggling to eat proper nutritious food at the moment. So and I just don't want it. I just don't want anything. But I'm so hungry, you know, fucking hell. But yeah, like I wouldn't have that. I don't really have that sensation so much anymore. And even like, I remember mentioning in my original videos that towards the end of the day, I would have that sort of like energy crash. And the need to snack and eat like constantly. Don't have either of those anymore, thank God, because those were really annoying. Then I find that I'd get more clumsy being off them. Like I don't know, like your brain just disconnects from the body, so you don't quite realise where your body is in a room. And yes, the struggle for making decisions worsens, completing tasks is harder. I would feel even more overwhelmed. Like I still experience a lot of these things anyway, but they were worse the longer I'd be off the medication, whereas they're a lot more manageable on medication, and probably would have been better if I take the right fucking dose all the time, but I don't, so maybe next I'll start taking my full dose regularly, who knows. But yeah, that's kind of the update I have so far. Like I said, I'm now pursuing an autism diagnosis. It's been 2 years since I was put on the NHS list with no appointment in sight, so I thought I would just go for Psychiatry UK's one. I've got the forms to fill in now. I started filling those in. I think I'll probably make a video about these forms because they are not fun. The ADHD forms were difficult, but the autism forms are like traumatizing. Yeah, they really are just like,
tell me every single traumatic thing that's ever happened in your life.
So I feel like I'm gonna struggle filling those in, especially with, I've got a lot of stuff just going on at the moment with admin things. It's so annoying, but that's what I'm pursuing next. I have also seen a few like concerning things on TikTok about Psychiatry UK and the way that they manage certain things, that they just discharge people who haven't used the service in the way that they deem like to be enough and such forth. And it's like, well, that's really strange when they are the ones who continue doing the ADHD medication reviews and not your GP. So like, I don't really understand how those two things work in the same capacity. Maybe that's people who aren't on meds, maybe that's certain places in the UK, but I've not had that experience. They haven't just discharged me, thankfully, even though I kind of hoped they would, but I don't know. I'm glad that they didn't, and I'm glad that they haven't. But yeah, I don't know if my next video will be the ADHD forms or will be maybe the like skins queer video. I don't know. I'm still struggling with fatigue and pain flare, so it is hard trying to just do things generally. And I'm going through an adult social care assessment to see if I can get some more support and funding for that support. Because yeah, it's, especially recently, it's just gotten to the point where it's just so difficult to keep on top of a lot of stuff. I really just need somebody to help with a bunch of these things. And I also finally have my appointment to see the specialist Takayasu's rheumatology clinic in London. Unfortunately, it was the day before my birthday when I'm not going to be in the country, so I'm waiting for a call back to rearrange that. But hopefully that means I will be seen soon and have some specialist input and access to specialist services and specialist doctors on Takayasu's. Because yeah, whilst things have been going okay for the last year, knock on wood, yeah, I think it would still be beneficial to get some outside input, maybe see if they can put me in contact with a vascular physio, because I can't seem to find anything like that exists. And still dealing with mercaptopurine dose stuff. I had a bit of a jump scare from the IBD pharmacy on Friday, where they said that they saw in my notes that someone was questioning stopping my mercaptopurine. Did I know about this, etc, etc? I was like, no, no, I do not know about this. It makes no sense, because we're actively working with that medication. So Why would I be taking off it when we are still fiddling with the dose and I've literally been put on allopurinol so that my body can fucking process this bloody fucking medication? Anyway, I don't know, maybe down the line as well I'll do some other health updates because it's been a while, but also same as this video, there's kind of been a lot going on but without any kind of conclusion to anything that's been worked on. Also, another phlebotomist has fucking left my GP practice, so I don't know who's going to take my blood anymore. We're waiting to see who they hire and how good they are, because I still need to have regular blood tests for all of my meds I'm on. So stop it. Please stop leaving the practice because I'm going to go insane. Please stop doing this to me. Yeah, so that's kind of my ADHD medication update, but also some extra general health update things too. I hope this video was helpful and informative. Let me know if you have any specific questions on ADHD meds, ADHD diagnosis process in the UK under Psychiatry UK, etc. I do also have a blog post that I put up about sort of how I approached the forms for that, which might help some of you as well. Since travelling to Norway and Birmingham, my body and brain have not been the same, so I'm really just dealing with a bit of a health decline at the moment, so that's so fun. Love that for me. So good. Crikey. Yeah, leave a like on the video, comment any questions or whatever you have, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, that's everything I have for you this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.